Hi and welcome to this Blueprint Markets video update with me, John Kibler, head currency analyst. In this video, we're going to be looking at the Forex market wrap. We're going to highlight some of the charts that we looked at this week and some of the outcomes. So, kicking it off, we've got the news for the week. What did we expect to happen and what actually did happen in the market? So what we did see was the flash services PMI data out of the UK and the US at the start of the week, and we were looking to see how they would perform, and flash services PMI actually came in a little bit under expectations here. We were actually expecting a decrease to 49.6, but it came in at 48, which is a little bit more detrimental than manufacturing PMI. The UK is a predominantly service country, so that's something to consider when you're looking at the flash manufacturing PMIs and services PMIs. In the US, we actually climbed from 44.7 to 46.6. But really the important stuff came after all this. We had CPI out of New Zealand, which actually showed a little bit of a higher than forecast outcome. Has dropped from 2.2% to 1.4%, which is good. That's inflation coming down, so they want to see that. That was a different story for Australia. However, you can see CPI quarter on quarter actually rose from 1.8% to 1.9%. We're actually expecting it to fall to 1.6%, and the RBA will probably look to increase interest rates again to try and combat the inflation rising there. Bank of Canada then hiked interest rates by 25 basis points from 4.2% to the expected 4.5%. Nothing really there. That was a shock. And then towards the end of the week, we had the core PCE price index came in as forecasted as well. So no big real shocks of the week really. The only thing that kind of maybe shocked the market was a little bit of CPI data coming in above expectations in Australia, which has actually kept the Australian dollar fairly strong, although we are pressing that 0.71 resistance at the moment. So let's jump into some charts. We were talking about euro dollar this week, looking to see euro dollar come up into the next area of resistance. I do still feel like 1.111 is still going to be on the cards for euro dollar, 1.1100 I should say, in the near future. I'm expecting some kind of retracement first though before we make our way up to that point. The dollar is at, or the dollar index I should say, is at key support, and that's been reflected here with price being at this minor resistance zone and the euro dollar finding a little bit of resistance here. So I would expect maybe a little bit of a decline here, just as price may pull back into previous points of interest before seeing a continuation. But I do expect 1.1100 to be tested, especially after the ECB did talk about continuing to hike interest rates by 50 basis points in the next 2 meetings. Pound was another one to watch this week. Although we came up into the 1.2425 highs, and we haven't really been able to trade through that level. Like I said, the dollar's gained a little bit of strength this week, which is arguably forming a double top here on this daily time frame for pound, which could maybe see price come back down into the lows around about the 1.2250, or even this level down here at the 1.22 handle if it were to kind of break and continue lower. If price trades through this level, then we've got a nice support to work with, but at the moment we're rejecting that level of interest. Pound yen was one to watch as well going into this week. However, again, very similar to pound US dollar, price was really capped at the highs here around about the 162 handle. Looking to see price continue through this area before looking for long opportunities there. But like with pound, we may get a slight decline back to the lows before price does continue to push higher. Finally then, Aussie dollar was probably our best performing currency pair this week. We were talking about the fact that it was looking like we were going to go long from this area in here after the rejection at the 0.6875 area, and we can see that price traded to the upside here into the 0 spot 71 flat, where you can see these highs formed in the past. Now, when price comes into these type of levels, obviously we were talking about seeing a move to the downside here in a recent video, but we haven't actually seen any kind of changes here just yet, which means that the Australian dollar could remain fairly strong. So I'd be interested to see what happens there. Maybe we consolidate. If we break higher, you know, we've got another move higher to anticipate. If we break lower here, we may see a pullback into those highs. Now, with the dollar index being at support, I would maybe suggest that price is more likely to pull back in the near term rather than go straight through and move higher. However, you know, depends on how the market sees the inflation situation in Australia at the moment. So definitely something to consider going into next week. We'll take a look at this in the week ahead analysis video. I hope you enjoyed all the content this week. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please leave this video a like and subscribe to the YouTube channel to see some more of our Forex trading content. Thank you very much.